I would too, yeah.
Never know these days.
Right. You're still in the week of Needfest, the start of the new year, several centuries into the current age. Normally the New Year's is a cause for celebration, a time for looking forward, a moment to bury regrets. That hasn't been the case for you. You're still in Dragonhall, and the City of Monsters has been frozen by severe winter. You've isolated yourselves from news beyond your position, so you can only speculate on how the Dragon Empire is faring now. As you go through your morning ablutions, you'll hear the front door open as Tempus steps into Hiram's hall. "Awfully brisk out there today," he calls out. "Not much time, so if you could gather, that would be gold." Quick. And Tempus is bouncing around a bit from foot to foot, energetically.
Hiram gives him a deep, sort of a wide, warm smile.
Tempus blinks at it, and then shakes his head, looking at the others approaching. I'm going to convey the following as close to in character as I can for how Gryph has portrayed Tempus. That being said, after I deliver it, I will post it in the MapTool chat, because we know that when Gryph gets a full head of steam with talking, no one can fucking understand what Tempus is saying. So bear with my attempt to play Tempus as Gryph plays Tempus when I read this. Right, so you've all been mucking about, doing as you do, and really, I'm not one for judging, but you haven't done much of anything, just scrolled yourselves away and all, which is entirely understandable on account of us nearly dying and all, but it doesn't do any good for the body, you know? So I went out and nosed around a bit, got my paws dirty, so to speak, yeah? Looked high and low, near and far, and I finally came across a friend. Well, not really a friend, you see, more like a friend of an acquaintance of an acquaintance of a friend, that type of relationship. Right. Well, he and I got to talking, and I prodded a bit, and it seems he's got some connections. Quite useful, really. Enough people to know that a woman matching Calorel's description just bought a pinnace no more than 3 days ago, and as of last night, it was still moored, though it was being loaded by those terrible creatures from the Dragon Cave, all while she watched. You know, the ones with the red caps. Right, anyway, I have a gist of where it is and of how it looks, and I could probably show it all to you. Miserable little peer, I'm told. I have an eye on all that, which leads me to the other main thing my kind of friend said. Alright, so those silent footsteps, their leader is named Triss, and she may have seen us as her meal ticket to joining the Black Fang. She's been trying to impress Scarlet for God knows how long, and her gang is sick of it. Triss has been going off on her own, and I've tried to follow her, not too close, mind, just to see her destination, and I do believe she's been heading to the ship, meaning she's maybe meeting with Calorel, which is great and convenient, you know, because there's a problem attached. I mean, there's a not problem in that the second best person in the gang, Ashrin, I met her, and she's quite supportive of Triss being eliminated, and she'd make sure there were few ripples in the silent footsteps if we were to just kill Triss outside of her territory. And there's another not problem, too, in that you could follow Triss all the way to Calorel, hopefully, because the problem we've been trying to get to is... And that's when Tempus finally stops rambling as his body folds up into a cube. The entire text of that is that.
Well done.
That was pretty close, I think.
I thrice checked to see if Gryph was actually in the call.
I of course cannot do the proper affectation of Gryph's accent, of course. We've all heard my fake Scottish. Baby, back it up, yeah? You what, mate?
Boy.
But every time Gryph plays Tempest, he gets like such a head of steam behind him, and I have my NPC go, "You shut the fuck up, you're not making sense!"
Alright, well, seems like Tempest is has been the most useful of all of us, so...
Apparently, yeah. I didn't want to...
Turns out, mechanically, it's like the icon relationship dice that Gryph rolled at the end of last session were used.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
How about that? How about a player using their icon relationship die?
No, if I had some.
How about, you know, a character going out to do things during the downtime? How about that?
I didn't want to go out in the city alone with my radiance.
You know, Tempest sticks out far less than Fargus does.
Yeah.
You know, I don't fault what you did there one bit.
Yeah, you know, hunted by demons and angering the Scarlets and Drow.
Fucking Druid, yeah.
She like wakes up at night in her little boat because there's like a beacon of light shining from outside into her window. She looks out. She's like this man standing with just like eyes made of the sun.
Hello.
It's like, who? Where could that be? Well, I say that the Tempus is onto something, and well, that sounds like 2 problems, 1 stone, that sort of thing.
We should bring more than 1 stone.
We can mine both the both ores with 1 pick, so that's great.
Right, but do we know where this is kind of folded up now?
Tempus.
Well, we would follow.
Yeah. Mechanically, Tempus was not able to tell you where the pier was. That was his problem that he was trying to get to.
We would follow the leader of the drow leader. We'll follow her there. When
I
she
should maybe
leaves,
stay a bit behind.
and then when she's in the boat, we kill them both. Well, we kill the drow.
After we get something out of them, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, we don't really need the drow. He's just trying to join. He doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
He needs to die so that the other drow will be happy with us because we killed their leader and help them get rid of someone who just wanted to kiss Scarlet's boot.
Actually,
Suddenly we'll have turned enemies to friends.
Yeah, I did have an idea to how to use my 6 actually. Maybe if I could only.
Well, let's hear your idea because I had something for that.
Oh, okay. Just maybe if I could, when I actually use my ability that I got from the previous 5, that I only shine with Druidic power when I actually use it for maybe like 1 or 2 hours, and other than that, I don't really. No.
That's cute.
Yes.
No, I think the 6 that I ended up having to come up with will be more beneficial to you.
All right.
I think anyway. We'll see how you feel about it at the end of the session, and you can tell me whether you liked your idea more.
Look out of the door, and there's like a gift basket. Yeah.
Like a little chocolate like elk with like antlers and everything.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah. Here's a dire elk that we thought you might need.
Wrapped in pine roots.
Yeah.
It's like an Easter basket full of like candies and shit. Like, what?
Oh,
That's lovely, I guess.
yeah, I like this more.
like a wreath of like flowers. It's like a welcoming gift. Like we heard you moved into the neighborhood. You like open up like the gift card, Gin Zeros, Scarlet, Theral, the Ever Living, creepy halfling. Like what?
I mean, that's beneficial, I suppose. Some way. Now we know not to trust any of these people. Well, I suppose we should follow her then.
We should.
It's a pretty great thing that our best follower is now a cube, although, I mean...
Would you send him alone, Thomas?
Sending people alone, in my experience, is a very bad idea.
Because
Let's
if we
just
had to send
keep
someone
our
alone,
distance.
it would have to be the man who looked the most inconspicuous.
Yeah, about that.
To
That didn't
himself,
work
Leon,
out
and
quite so
Fargus.
well.
What happened, actually, now that we are on the topic?
Well, you know, everything went rather well. They were impressed of me, apparently, because I'm such a awesome dude, apparently. And I punched a person or two to impress them. Something I now regret because, well, whatever. Anyways, they brought me to that altar that you traveled through and put me on it. Gave me some sort of liquid that put me out for a while, and when I woke up, apparently they were rather confused that I didn't quite turn. And apparently turn into a lizard, of course, as they did with Ellie. It worked on her, definitely. But apparently it only works on, well, humans, or at least humanoids. saying that I'm not one of those, apparently.
You're not?
I don't quite know how far I can trust what Scarlet said, but she had no reason to lie. She, among other things, called me a scion of the Great Gold Worm, whatever that means exactly. I do feel the truth behind it, though, and ever since she actually said that, it has made some things make sense. Whatever that means. Ever since then, I have actually managed to sleep an entire night. That, as funny as that might sound, something rather uncommon for me. Or used to be, at least. Yes, I am as speechless as you are. I have not quite found out what things are changed now, if any.
But you have... I mean, you had parents, right?
I don't think I've ever told you, have I?
No. I was just always sort of assumed.
I was found, basically. I was 5, 8, 10, somewhere around there. Showed up one day near that village. At least it's the earliest memory I still have. The village near Santa Cora. Somewhere near the woods. An old couple found me, adopted me, and that's how that went. Never knew my real family, although apparently I don't have one. Still can't quite believe that.
I see.
So you were more or less just created by the Great Gold Worm? Or...
Thomas shrugs. As much as I now know, there's still more than that I don't know, obviously.
Well... And what of this other one? Ellie, was that her name?
Yes.
Where's she?
Well, short story, she left. Long story is that she was one of the few that were very interested in actually joining the Scarlet Serpents, not because she was bloodthirsty or wanted to run around doing whatever fuck things the group actually did, but rather because she was looking for a safe place to stay. She had very little as far as I understood her.
You didn't offer this place as a safe place with food and heat and protection?
When we met in the tavern, when we first met, before we were introduced to this whole thing, before she got turned and they tried to turn me, I tried to convince her to not do it. I tried to give her directions to this place so we could offer her shelter and food, everything she was looking for, really. She wasn't listening. And then when she was here, well, I tried to convince her to stay, but she was rather upset. I do believe she is a rather emotional person, and after having her supposed new family attacked, herself punched out, and carried to an unknown place, she wanted nothing but to simply leave. Also, these fucking dogs, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Maybe she'll be back when she gets hungry and cold out there.
She seemed too stubborn and stupid.
It's a shame that people should freeze to death for stupidity.
I can't make her decisions for her.
Well, I suppose not.
I could have strapped her to a bed, but what would that have accomplished?
A lot of screaming, unpleasantness.
Perhaps a few raised eyebrows from people looking on.
Yeah.
Or it might have saved her life, but
Probably all of those.
probably.
Oh well. We maybe should get going before... Yeah. She gets too far ahead of us.
We don't even know when she'll be leaving, do we?
No, but she might leave at any second, so we shouldn't stay here for too long.
I need to close my windows and doors.
Do we have like some sort of like something warm we can bring with us that stays warm? A way to keep some hot drink or something like that. Because Hurim really doesn't like going out in this weather. It is too damn cold, even for him. Usually, dwarves would go underground.
The Dragon Empire equivalent of a thermos?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what people had back then. Forgotten fantasy times.
I'm not sure whether those are a thing. No. I mean, you have your water and wine skins and, and try to bundle things up real good. It certainly is below freezing outside, again.
I mean, keeping anything warm would be kind of hard. But keeping things from not being frozen, that could certainly work.
Yes.
I guess we just take some
You can certainly
hard
keep
alcohol.
things from not being frozen, that is correct.
Just take some hard alcohol with us to
There
make us
you go.
feel warm
Yes.
without being warm.
Yes. Lie
Put some
to
of it
yourself. You're so good
in
at
a
it.
body temperature out. Alright,
works
well,
perfect.
there's gonna be the hell just sitting there outside waiting for someone to leave their place. Which they might do at any point. Or not. Well, it seems like Tempus thinks that she did it somewhat frequently.
He said a lot of things.
Sheep, you can't ignore us. We're dogs. Open the window.
I can just keep creating flames. And,
Yeah, but that would make us very visible.
yeah, it would.
I guess we'll have to suck up the heat, to suck up the coldness. I mean,
Just cover yourselves in furs and extra clothing.
Yeah.
You don't really have to worry about mobility. I mean, who's going to be out in this weather?
hopefully the drow lady. I'll go next summer. No.
You got me there.
On the other hand, it's a good point. Who's going to be out this weather? We can at least see if she's just left by looking for footsteps.
If it's
Although-
snowing right now,
It
there's
is not snowing right now.
They will be making footsteps, or their name wouldn't really make sense. So,
Well,
I suppose you're right then. We should just go.
yes, let's.
Okay. You folks, then together, bundling up in whatever you have, or if you don't want to bundle up, preparing to brave the below-freezing conditions of the winter wonderland that is Drakenhall. Again, it is a worthwhile reminder that conditions like these, temperatures, are entirely abnormal. They are beyond what your characters have experienced. They're beyond, you would dare say, anything the 13th Age has felt around the Midland Sea. The Midland Sea stays fairly warm, even in winter, and horrific wintry conditions like these are best seen in the outskirts of the Dragon Empire. When you get into the territory where the Frost Giants are, yeah, this is where that's supposed to be, not here, even in the middle of winter. And the first snowfall you folks saw, if you'll recall, was before all the crops had been fully harvested. That was back in Foghaven, which I know is a painful memory for some.
Early and harsh winter.
Yes, which is an abnormal occurrence for the Dragon Empire.
Unnatural, even.
You begin your slow, cautious, and methodical trek, heading towards the territory of the Silent Footsteps. Speaking of silent, that is what transpires about a half hour into your trek when a snow owl from above dive bombs towards Fargus.
Oh, okay. Fargus will sort of reach out his arm, I guess, and try to let it land on it.
The snow owl comes to a landing. The majestically colored creature quirks its head at you, and with unmistakable human intelligence opens its beak and says, "You're very difficult to find, Fargus."
Oh yeah, am I?
Yes. I can't speak like this for long, but I, thoroughly ever-living, thought it wise to warn you of something. You are being hunted, and from what little I have been able to gather, you have attracted the attention of another Druid. Certainly for worse.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to rethink all of the enemies you've made, and the time that you spent in your service to him.
Uh-huh.
And I would certainly keep my eyes peeled in these conditions. Try to stay bundled up.
I'll be sure to do so. Thank you.
The snow owl will take flight and soar back into the air.
Alright. Huh. Now, I'm assuming it doesn't mean himself when it...
The words the snow owl conveyed were most certainly in the common tongue, and were not being whispered so low that no one else could hear it. That was certainly audible by the rest of the player characters.
Herm looks to Fargus. Who was that owl?
You remember the druid we met up with before who did this, and Fargus points to his eyes?
Vaguely.
It was him.
And he wanted to warn you about a different druid.
Apparently so. I have no idea who it is, though.
Whose service have you been in? That something about service was said.
He's referring to the Great Stag.
Oh, yes, the Great Stag.
Yes.
The one that appears in your dreams, right?
Well, that's one of the places he appears, yes. He's the one who gave me these eyes originally.
And I wouldn't discard the importance of dreams, Hiram.
Thomas says, I have many dreams, and if they all meant something, then I don't even know where we would be. Certainly the place warmer than this. Maybe
it's not that
happier
hard to...
too. Rainbows, colors, fudge.
It's not that hard to spot which dreams actually mean something and which don't.
As I suppose. I get silent a little bit, thinking. Well, somebody certainly doesn't like you being in service to the stack, then.
I don't think that's what he meant.
And what do you think?
It means it's a druid who maybe have loyalties to someone we have angered in our stay here.
Isn't there a Draco druid in this city?
I don't know.
I think it's a thing. Druids of wrath and murder and destruction. The natural powers to erode everything that is, destroy everything.
They certainly do exist, yes. Yeah, that's probably what he meant.
Alright then, I suppose you should stay watchful.
We certainly should. We're too deep in this now to go back.
Well,
The rest of your trip, edging nearer to the territory of the Silent Footsteps, does go without incident. It is simply too cold, you think, for the individuals whose territory you might be passing through to pursue you. Indeed, no. There are fire barrels, like, stacked by, like, roadsides, and, like, hordes of goblins, like, stacked together like cordwood, all, like, next to them. You know, like, huddling each other for warmth. It's simply too damn cold for, people to hate each other right now, right? Right. You, do reach the towering spires of the territory, which you know to be that of the Silent Footsteps, marked as it is with its foreboding perimeter of arrows, not to mention the very clear, cover-empty avenue leading through the middle of it, the only way through this territory. Certainly, however, if you are wishing to linger around, you could attempt to find a vantage point for which the four of you could wait and hope to look at things. That, I would ask for a dexterity plus stealth plus... No. Let's scrap that. Not a dexterity plus stealth one. Let's change that. You're looking for a great place to hide. This would be a skill check based on the background which requires you to find great places to hide, plus your intelligence modifier, plus level. And this one skill check would be for all four of you to see how great you are at picking a place where the four of you can not only hide from sight, but watch to see people leaving.
I'm back, and I heard that description.
So one person makes one skill roll.
Yes.
I'm not gonna make it.
Finding vantage places to watch and look. I mean, I have some experience in this.
And the reason why one would be for it is I don't think you folks want to separate off into different, like, groups to, like, spot for things. Unless you want to go individually, that might be a poor assumption on my part.
Hurim certainly has some, being a frontier prospector. He's looked for many sort of... Mostly also like long time hunting in far out mountain ridges and such, where a goat might mean whether you eat for a few days or not. And so staying in one place for a long time, finding a place that is good to stay in for a long time, and certainly also in these rocky sort of areas, and maybe even in the snowy areas, is something he certainly has done before.
I agree with the application of that background.
Beyond that, he's also pretty intelligent.
So what kind of bonus are we looking there for yours?
That would be a +7. Well, plus my level, I suppose. That would be a +11.
Okay, +7.
11.
But I'm saying before the level, but...
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
level
7 plus level, but I actually also have my skill in my thing, so I guess I'd have a +12 in
That
total.
is correct.
It's true, and it's just as good as anything I could pull off, so...
Yep.
Because what I think would work would also give a +7, so...
Sure. We'll then look for a good place for us to sit up and watch out.
All right.
His bonus of, did I say +12? It was +12, wasn't it?
Plus 12.
Is there any way to assist him with, like, strategic advice or something?
I tell you what, we will grant a +2 to that skill check for tactical advice. With a skill check of 24, Dwohurim is able to locate an elevated position, a bit off the ground, one with a flight of stairs beneath it, reasonably sturdy, so that you're all able to travel up. You've got a roof over your heads, and with clear areas which once had windows, you're able to look out at significant chunks of the territory of the Silent Footsteps. Enough where you feel confident that you could probably see someone leaving, since there's so few areas where one could leave from the Silent Footsteps. Assuming there isn't like a sewer escape or whatever, but you can only plan for so much.
Good. The roof should help us with walls, might help us stay a little bit warmer.
Yes, it will help to protect you a bit from the wind.
Good old stakeout.
Time to, I suppose, take turns looking.
Yes. And your watch is going to be very long.
Makes sense that two people